It's officially that time of year again. Seasonal affective disorder, or SAD for short, or more commonly known as seasonal depression or the winter blues, is officially in full effect. SAD unfortunately affects tens of millions of people worldwide, and as the name suggests, causes you to feel a drag and depression throughout the winter season. I'm making this video for those of you who have just recently started your self-improvement journey or who are planning to start it for this new year. The reason that I'm making this video specifically for those of you who are starting or who have just started your self-improvement journey, I don't see many self-improvement YouTubers talking about how detrimental SAD really is and how you can overcome it so that when summer rolls around, you're already ahead of 90% of your competition. Like many of you, SAD is something that has taken control over my life until the last winter of 2022. Like many of you, I was stuck inside my room and inside my house chasing quick dopamine to escape cold winter days. I'd be stuck inside my house just watching movies, scrolling on my phone, playing video games. Throughout my life, I've noticed that my grades and my willingness to socialize with other people has been significantly hampered, especially in the winter season. I've gone through the same things that you're probably going through right now, so I want to share the 4 things that I've done to overcome seasonal affective disorder and how you can do the same so you can get your self-improvement journey started. And just as a quick disclaimer, the 3rd step is probably the most important, so please make sure you stick around for that one because that has had the most effect on my life and I know it will for you as well. After I share with you the 4 tips, please leave a comment below as to which of these 4 steps you're going to implement first. And as always, if you get any value from this video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Without any further ado, let's get right into this video. The first thing that you must do to improve your seasonal depression or your SAD is, funny enough, is to increase your vitamin D intake. Low vitamin D levels is a common factor with people with SAD, and it decreases in the winter seasons due to less sunlight exposure. There's plenty of evidence and research out there that shows that low vitamin D levels is linked with mental health issues. One way that you can increase your vitamin D levels is to take over-the-counter supplements that are available in your local grocery stores or pharmacies. You can also eat foods that are higher in vitamin D, such as different types of oily fish, including salmon, tuna, and sardines. I know that sounds kind of gross, but trust me, by doing these simple changes in my diet, I've been able to improve my overall productivity and output because of it. Other foods that are high in vitamin D include the yolk of the eggs, as well as oranges. Besides your diet, the 2nd way to increase your vitamin D levels is you must spend some more time out in nature. Whenever you see the sun outside from your window, please sprint outside and stay out there for as long as you can because there is no replacement for getting enough sunlight exposure during the winter. Because many people spend most of their times indoors, they're not getting adequate sunlight exposure that they need in order to mentally and physically feel well. What happens with sunlight exposure is that the skin absorbs the radiation that comes from the sun and converts it into vitamin D. Still take 10 to 15 minute walks a day, and I assure you that this 10 to 15 minutes outside of walking will be so much more beneficial for your productivity and output than just simply sitting at your desk and working for an extra 10 to 15 minutes. The 2nd way to improve your winter blues is by creating a more rigid routine. Routines are known to reduce stress and anxiety, which are both things that are increased in people with SAD already. So it's very crucial that you stay to a strict routine because there's so much information going around us. It's very easy to get distracted and move on from one task to the other, do random things at random times, but a routine will keep you on track and reduce the stress and anxiety in your life. The first step in creating a more rigid routine is that you must go to bed at the same time every single day and wake up in the morning at the same time every single day. As I mentioned in the beginning of this video, people with seasonal affective disorder have a hard time sleeping at night as well as waking up in the morning because pineal gland, which regulates this process, is significantly disturbed, which is why as is, because it's already disturbed, you have to be even more strict with your routine. As I mentioned in my previous videos, please stop eating 3 hours before going to bed and stop drinking water 2 hours before bed. Keep your screens away for the last hour before you go to bed. It's something called the 3-2-1 rule. You must ensure that you follow this in order to get a good night's rest. As you probably already know, when you sleep well, you feel better and your productivity and your output is better. As a bonus tip to help you guys wake up easier in the morning, I would suggest investing into a dawn simulator. It's kind of like an alarm clock, but without the World War II PTSD trenches type of sound with the siren going off in the morning. Instead of a sound to wake you up, this alarm clock uses light to wake you up. It'll start at a very dim light and will increasingly get really bright until your whole room is illuminated until it's time for you to wake up. This mimics the sunrise and makes it much easier for you guys to wake up in the morning. Again, within creating a rigid routine, as I state in all of my videos, exercise is also very crucially important. Exercise is just scientifically proven to help build your immunity in the winter, and when our immunity is low, we're more likely to fall sick, and when we fall sick, we're more likely to have more negative emotions. Depression affects immunity, which then causes us to feel worse about ourselves, which then affects immunity, and so on and so on. And the last step within creating a rigid routine, please limit the amount of times that you go out on the weekends and you consume alcohol. Again, alcohol is just known to decrease your immunity and is more likely to make you fall sick. And unfortunately, when people do feel bad about their lives, they kind of resort to drinking alcohol, or they resort to substances to make them get rid of these negative emotions. Unfortunately, it will only cause you to feel worse down the line. So please limit your alcohol consumption if you're going through SAD, because while it might get rid of your symptoms, it will only cause you to feel more depressed later down the line. And so please limit the amount of alcohol that you're drinking on a day-to-day basis, and limit the amount of times you go out on the weekends. So step 3, in order to overcome SAD, as I mentioned before in the beginning of the video, this is the most crucial step in overcoming SAD, and this is called meditation. Meditation is the most important step on this list because meditation is known to reduce stress and anxiety in the most natural way possible. It's just scientifically proven to reduce stress and anxiety, both are which common symptoms that are associated with SAD. But more importantly, remember how I mentioned how SAD affects the pineal gland? Meditation is known to regulate the function of the pineal gland and increase melatonin, which promotes relaxation and also stimulates further serotonin production, which is a neurotransmitter in your brain, which is known for regulating mood. With the increase of melatonin and with the regulation of production of serotonin, you are going to feel so much better if you meditate just for 10 to 15 minutes a day. I currently follow a similar schedule, but one of my New Year's resolutions for this year is to meditate at least twice a day, especially during the winter seasons, because I've seen how much of an effect just one session of 10 to 15 minutes a day can be. So I want to take it up to 2 times a day. I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't see a significant change after meditating for the last year and a half. I strongly suggest, if you guys don't have any time, just sit down for 5 minutes a day and focus on regulating your breathing and keeping your mind as blank as you can and only focusing on your breath. By doing this, you will feel after a 5-minute session how much more relaxed you feel. I promise this one single step will make you feel so much better if you follow this consistently. The very last step on this list of overcoming seasonal affective disorder, or the winter blues, is that you must still prioritize socializing. We as humans are social creatures, and we need to stay in contact with other people in order for us to not only physically feel well, but it's a biological need for us to stay in groups, because that is what has promoted our survival in an evolutionary sense. There's plenty of research that shows that there is a causal relationship between isolation and depression. If you don't believe me, think about how you felt during the pandemic when you were locked inside of your house and you didn't have contact with others. So ensure that you're still going to gatherings, still participating in activities, and at the very least, if you can't do all of those things, at least make sure you're still talking on the phone with people, FaceTiming, setting up Zoom calls, doing whatever it takes to still stay in a social state of mind. The only thing you want to ensure that you're not doing is that you're spending time with people who break your rigid routine. Like I said in the previous steps, you don't want to spend time with people who are making you break your sleep cycle, stay with people who are making you drink alcohol or take substances, because at a time where you're already not feeling good, these substances and these things will only make you feel worse in the future. So just make sure that you're surrounding yourself around the right people. If you just follow these 4 steps, you will feel so much better and you'll be able to see an improvement within the first 2 weeks. Solutions are just so simple to not follow, so please leave a comment below which one of these 4 steps you're going to implement first, and please come back to this video and leave a comment and tell me how you feel after the first 2 weeks of implementing one or all of these steps. As always, if you got any value from this video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace.